Hello. All right, so we are learning the letter W this week. And so we are going to look at our W alphabet soup can and see what words begin with the W sound. Here's a W. It looks like an M flipped upside down. The first thing we have is the uppercase W and the lowercase w. You notice they look just exactly alike. One is big and one is small. If you flip them, they do look like M's, so don't get them confused. W says "wa," where an M says "mm." All right, so the first W word is window. Window. We have a waffle. Then we have watch. And a wagon, wagon, and watermelon, watermelon. Lots of sound. All right, so our book today is called Worms Wagon. This is by Samantha Berger and illustrated by Matt Phillips. One day, Worm went to the woods to gather walnuts. He brought back his wagon with him. On his way home, Worm saw a woodpecker whistling in a weeping willow. Woodpecker asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled along, pulling Woodpecker in his wagon. Soon they came upon Weasel eating watermelon. Weasel asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled along, pulling Woodpecker and Weasel in his wagon. Before long, they bumped into Wombat, wearing her new wig. Wombat asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled along, pulling Woodpecker, Weasel, and Wombat in his wagon. Next, they met Wolf on the way to work. Wolf asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled along, pulling Woodpecker, Weasel, Wombat, and Wolf in his wagon. Soon they saw Walrus winking and waving. Walrus asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled along, pulling Woodpecker, Weasel, Wombat, Wolf, and Walrus in his wagon. Up ahead, they saw a whale playing in the water. Whale asked Worm for a ride. Worm wiggled with all his might, trying to pull Woodpecker, Weasel, Wombat, Wolf, Walrus, and Whale in the wagon. But the wagon would not move. The wheels started to wobble. Wham! The weight was too much for the wagon. It crashed to the ground. Oh no! My wagon, Worm whined. Don't worry, Worm, the animal said. Worm's friends worked on the wagon all afternoon. He has some good friends. When the wagon was fixed, Worm wiggled into it. Then Wombat, Weasel, Wolf, Woodpecker, Walrus, and Whale pulled Worm all the way home, and weary Worm had a wonderful ride. All right, so here's some things that start with the letter W. Like we see Woodpecker and Worm and Wolf and Whale and Wagon and Walnuts. And whistle. There's all kinds of things that start with a W. W is for worm and a wagon to pull. W is for will, well, wave, and wool. That's a tongue twister. W is for watermelon, juicy and sweet. W is for walnuts, waffles, and wheat. Hooray for W, big and small, the wildest, wackiest letter of all. All right, hope y'all have fun learning about letter W today. Bye, guys.